Hello and welcome to Fortress, Alaska. I'm your host Dave, and today's video is on the Springfield M1A. This happens to be the M1A loaded model with a national match barrel. It's the more simpler type. It also has target sights. Anyways, this is the civilian version of the military M14, possibly the worst rifle adopted by the US military ever. Don't tell me when I said that. But anyways, we're going to take it out shooting and see how it does, and we'll do more review after the shooting. So, like I said, the M1A or M14 was the worst military rifle adopted by the military, not because it isn't a good rifle, but because it didn't do what it needed to do, and basically you just got a magazine-fed M1 Garand, and that's all they really did. So, but loading is like loading any other rifle magazine. You just take the cartridges, push them straight down into the magazine, making sure they're seated all the way to the rear. I don't have stripper clips, which would be the easier way. And you just push them down one at a time. There we go. 5 rounds. So I have 5-round magazines, 20-round magazines, and even a 25-round magazine for the M1 Garand. So let's go to the features of the gun, starting from the muzzle. We have the flash suppressor, which is extremely long, but it does the job. We have the sights. Now, mind you, these are national match sights, not typical military sights. You have your gas block here with your gas piston on the inside. Got your plastic handguard cover and wood stock, one-piece wood stock. You have your charging handle, the bolt. Here we have the clip guide for when you use tripper clips. You can load the magazines through an open bolt directly into the magazine using stripper clips and the strip guide, or you can load them into the magazine, then insert the magazine. It's an unusual feature to have a magazine fed rifle with the stripper clip. You have the rear sight. Once again, these are national match sights, finer adjustments, finer peep sights. Then the back, we have the classic thing that flips and goes up. Some of you will get the joke. This is to help control it really on full auto. It's got little or no use in semi-auto. Then of course, have your sling positions and the sling. On the bottom we have the magazine release. Magazines are of the rock and lock type, so you nose it in and lock it in. Tug, it's in there tight. Magazine release paddle comes right out. The safety is in the trigger guard with the safety in the back position. It cannot fire, so there's no danger of sticking your finger in there. Then you just push forward and the safety is off. You want the safety on, you click it back. It's ambidextrous, so it is really quite useful. But this type of magazine they've gone away from, but yet the millions of people who own Mini 14s have never had a problem with it, and I never heard of anyone having a problem with it with an M1A or an M14. So with these particular magazines, it's hard to load on a closed bolt, so we'll load with an open bolt. So push in there, rock and lock it in, tug, it's good and tight. Has to have the bolt go forward, just pull back on the charging handle and let go. Then just take aim. And fire. A tip when you are cleaning your M1A or M14 is mark how the gas port, the gas block is lined up before disassembly, so that when you reassemble it, it's put back the same way. It can affect accuracy. Well, remember, once again, this is a match rifle, not a combat rifle. So I want my accuracy as consistent as possible. So do mark it so you tighten it back to the exact same spot before you clean it. So another quick tip, if you do not plan on disassembling the gas block and gas piston, clean your rifle upside down, because you don't want anything dripping out of the gas port on the bottom to go in there and cause you issues. Gunk and whatever could build up in there because gravity does work. So if it's up, things can't drip down. They can't drip up, I should say. For those of you not aware, the M1 Garand and M14 both have a whole removable trigger assembly which just comes out in one large piece. And then you can clean and maintain it this way, thus leaving everything else pretty much just empty. So the whole trigger pack is removable for cleaning and maintenance. And once you move the trigger pack, it just comes apart. You can just pop the rest of it right out of the stock and do your cleaning and maintenance from here. Now, much simpler guide rod and spring system on the M1 Garand, so it's easier to take apart and maintain and clean. In general, with M1 carbines, M1 Garands, and M14s, grease is your preferred lubricant. That's what the Army specified, so that's what I use. So when you're cleaning your M1A or M14, some tools come in handy. This is a gas block wrench for removing your gas block should you need to, or to hold it in place as you remove the cap over the piston. These drills with the handles on them are for scraping carbon out of the piston and the gas block cap and other parts, so you can scrape all the carbon out and get them good and clean. And then, if you can find one of these, this is the Armorer tool that was made by Battle Arms Development specifically for the M1A or M14. It's an awesome tool. It does all kinds of things I won't go into now. But I think they stopped making them. There just wasn't a big enough market for them. But if you see one and you have an M1A, grab it. It's a very useful tool. It does almost everything you'd ever need to do on the M1A. So these are just some tools you use, and the reason I don't show you me using them is I only got so many hands, and in reality no one really wants to watch me scrape carbon out of a gas piston. Often when you see M1 Garands or M14s or M1As in storage, you'll see their trigger in this configuration. What they've done is open the trigger to relieve the stress on it, open the trigger guard I should say, relieve the stress on it, so you're not constantly compressing the wood together, and that way it extends the life of the stock, because you will over time just compress the hell out of the wood. So this allows it not to be compressed all the time, and it's a good way to store it. Plus, if someone grabs it who shouldn't, they're not going to know what to do with it. So hope you enjoyed the video on the M1A/M14. This is Fortress Alaska. Please like and subscribe, leave comments, ask questions, all the usual algorithm stuff, and you can even get an M1A lighter. I don't know if you can see the flame, but it lights.